As afternoon approached on a Saturday in April, a high school in North Moore County in North Carolina was beginning to come to life, with the sounds of strings being picked as musicians and audience members began arriving for the 85th annual Highfalls Fiddlers Convention. However, before we jump into the beginnings of this fun, music-filled day, let's look back at the long history of this event and how it almost came to an end. The first believed account of this event taking place was in a newspaper clipping from 1921 titled Box Party and Old Fiddlers Convention. And before you go pausing this video and googling what is a box party, I'll tell you exactly what it is. A box party was a social event where organizers would prepare and auction off individual fancy box lunches or dinners to raise funds for causes and organizations. Now that I've answered that burning question, let's continue on with the history of the Fiddlers Convention. Based off newspaper records, the event wasn't held again until 1935, and it seems from then on it became an annual event, with many accounts of the event taking place around the same time every year. That is, until 2020. Once COVID became a serious concern, quickly followed by a nationwide quarantine lockdown, the convention planners canceled the event for the first time since 1935. Fast forward to 2023, and the original convention planners decided they were not going to continue the event themselves, and officially retired the convention. Luckily, a group of college students who grew up attending the event heard of this sad news and decided they were going to save and revive the convention this year. The leader of this group was Miranda Smith. Miranda grew up attending this event with her family and friends and has deep bluegrass roots, making her the perfect person to revive this historical event.
A lot of us grew up going to this convention, and hearing it got canceled just was like another nail in the coffin for the area and everybody in between, so it means a lot that it's still going, and thank you so much for being a part of it.
On the day of the big event, Miranda gathered the volunteers a couple of hours before the doors opened, and assignments and last-minute details were shared.
And we want the bands to have a smooth and easy experience so that they come back next year and the year after that.
1, 2, check. 1, 2.
Once the doors opened and people began exchanging cash for tickets, the building came to life, and the auditorium slowly filled with eager bluegrass fans and competitors. The halls and outdoor areas were filled with sounds of tuning instruments and warm-ups. The convention started with the national anthem, and immediately following, the first competitor took the stage and kicked off with the kids category.
He comes to us from Carthage. How about that, a local guy?
As the kids category concluded, it was time for the dancers to take the stage. The first dancer to take the stage was 92-year-old Jimmy Harrington. As the dancing concluded, the solo adults category began. At this point, the practice rooms and outside areas were filled with the sounds of music coming from every direction as the solo artists got ready for their time to shine. Many of the bands were also warming up during this time, as their category would be the next and final one. As the adult soloist category ended, the convention took a short break, and the crowd was entertained during the short intermission for the next 15 minutes with the first public performance of the Wolfpack Sound Polka Band, comprised of current and previous NC State students. The group showcased 3 high-energy polka songs as they danced, sang, and cheered along with the music, as is expected with any polka music performance. With the audience re-energized, the final category began, as bluegrass bands competed against each other. The band category came to a close with one of the youngest groups of the night performing a beautiful and engaging rendition of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot. final awards were handed out, and the last-minute recognitions and thanks were given as the 85th annual Highfalls Fiddlers Convention came to a close. It's obvious by observing and listening to interactions throughout the day, and speaking with a few people myself at this event, that this community is deeply connected and has a long history of being brought together through local events like this one. Bluegrass is an integral part of a lot of these families, and often kids are taught to respect its history and technical foundations from a young age, whether that be through family stories or learning an instrument themselves. The generational influence is evident just by observing the wide age-ranging competitors and audience members. These small communities rely on events like these to maintain traditions and to pass history and stories on to the next generation. Putting on an event like this is a lot of work. It would not have been possible without the support from sponsors, volunteers, and the community. I'm glad to see this event saved and reestablished, and I hope it's able to continue for another 20 years if possible. And I hope you'll consider attending the next Highfalls Fiddlers Convention, which will be held in early March of 2024.